Hello, everybody.
Hey,
Hey,
we
happy
made it.
Easter. Welcome. Yeah, we did. We did make it. We made it
We
on
made
time.
it
Well,
today.
almost. Wait, it's 3 minutes late,
Yeah,
but
I
that's
mean,
okay.
it's basically on time for
hmm
us,
Yeah, yeah. And we
basically.
we started this stream like minutes ago, many minutes, like 10 minutes ago.
Like,
So,
yeah.
hmm
So we were early.
yeah, that's true. Even if we weren't on screen yet.
Not that, like, I don't think anybody's like, like
Well,
giving us crap about it, but
they're all talking about it in chat, and no, actually, that's not true. No one say. We're all talking about it, so now they're thinking
yeah,
about it,
we're
and so
just
now
talking
that they're
about it
thinking
because
about it.
we feel insecure about it. And
hmm
so, like,
Yeah, that's right,
like we're
guys.
always late.
Yeah, why you guys make me feel so insecure all the time? You guys are mean.
Yes, it's
Yeah,
totally
I'm kidding. You guys
not
are.
the chat's fault.
Yeah. You
Welcome,
know
guys.
what?
How's it going?
Yeah, you know what is the chat's fault? Us being here at
What's the
all.
chat's fault?
You guys are amazing, and if it weren't for you, we wouldn't be here.
That's why we're
So,
here.
mhm. Yeah. So thanks for joining us and being with us and having a great time with us. It is Easter
Hmm.
season now, so we get to celebrate for a while, and so good times, hopefully for everyone, for all, with celebration and joy. But even in times of celebration and joy, there can be hard times of struggles. There can be plenty of struggles. So that's what we're here for. Just we're here to do a good Don't Worry Wednesday for you guys to help push the worry out, the concerns away, and the hope in, and the joy and the love and all of that kind of stuff.
Hmm.
So, yeah, welcome to Don't Worry Wednesday. This is a show where we talk about those things. And we aren't professional psychologists, psychiatrists, or anything along those lines, but we can give our best from our own experiences and lives, from the lives around us, and just from our own contemplation, and even, and most importantly, sometimes, whatever you guys have to say. There are many times people
Hmm.
chime in the chat and say really profound and useful things that are very
Yes.
helpful beyond what we say.
Yes.
So it's very nice, and we encourage and implore you to if you have any thoughts on anything during our topics, feel free to chime in and add to the discussion because it does help. Yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Neon's Wednesday. I love Neon's. I love how many names you have.
We've got a new one. I like this time. I have to say, I really like that the profile picture is the same because now I don't have to figure out who that is. I just immediately profile.
Yes.
Yeah, it's like it's great.
Yeah.
That was really helpful. I
Yes.
still feel bad for that
Yes.
one time I called you Cat, and you're like, "I'm your wife." I'm like, "Oh, yeah." Well, I knew that.
It's a me,
It's me,
Mario.
Neon's
Oh, except you're not
Wednesday.
Mario. Well, it usually always starts with neon something,
Yeah,
you
that's
know?
true. hmm
So,
Yeah,
with a little bit of thinking,
yeah, a little bit of
on the
deduction.
fly,
Yeah.
sometimes thinking on the fly is difficult just cuz,
hmm Especially when you're
but
streaming.
yeah, right. But, hey, sometimes we do a pretty good job.
Got an account for every day of the week. Yeah, that makes sense. We'll probably see this one the most often, I think, because it's
Yep,
Wednesday.
that's probably the one I will see the most for sure.
When we go back to Australia, we have to use Jan's Thursday. Just what happens. So we use
Neon's
this account.
Wednesday in America, but Thursday in Australia.
Yeah.
And that's the name, that whole thing.
Wow. That's it's fair though. I mean, at this
I
point,
wonder if
we've had
YouTube
so
would
many
have a limit.
names. Yeah. At this point, we have had so many names, we kind of have to be inventive and creative with our names. So yeah, they probably would get
Yes.
that long. Um,
Yeah.
you're subbing until the end of the school year, Kendra. How long is that? How long is like then the school year? I feel like the school year just started not that long ago, but then again, it's not
No,
summer.
it's
It's
ending
till
in a
it's
couple
yeah.
months.
Wow. Year just
Probably 2 more
moves.
months.
Yeah. Well, that sounds right.
Hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
School.
School.
Enough said.
Yeah, honestly. I listened to a politician speaking the other day, and he was like, "Guys, got to take your kids out of school." And I was like,
What?
"Okay." He was trying to
For
say like homeschool because the system's rotten to the core and you need to.
oh
And I was like, yeah, I don't disagree, but at the same
yeah,
time,
the school
I'm happy
system's a
we have
struggle.
something. Hmm.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure. Yeah.
yeah.
I mean, it's not, I don't think it's really the school system's fault. I think it's
No,
the
of course not.
politics' fault.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. But it was nice hearing it from a politician in a way, admitting that
Hmm.
it was not so great. So,
The chat on the stream is not scrolling. That's
ooh,
interesting.
oh, that's weird.
Do you need to, is there something, because there's a little arrow there.
Yeah, what do I do?
I,
Um,
oh,
I don't know what I do about that because let me see here. Let's go here. Whoa. Um,
crazy.
uh-oh. Um, yeah, I don't know how to fix that.
Well, maybe we'll just have to rely on the chat in the actual chat box instead of the stream box
Yeah,
or something for today until we can figure that out.
yeah.
Sounds like a YouTube issue or an OBS issue. There was just an OBS update, right?
Yeah, I see the little arrow.
Mm-hmm.
I see a little arrow, like it's added it in. Because what we're doing is we're taking we have a really old code that was for an old YouTube, and we should eventually get a new code that uses the new YouTube model for chat. This code is like 6 something years old or something. So um,
Yeah.
it's got all this weird stuff in it, like sign in, all messages will send appear publicly or whatever, and welcome to the live
Mm-hmm.
chat, and now a drop down arrow. So that just, yeah,
Like, is your chat popped out?
yeah, yeah, it
Okay.
is.
Very interesting.
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Oh, me too. Yeah. Well, we're just gonna have that. It's gonna be broken.
Yeah.
Sorry about that. Let me double
Welcome to our
check the
broke down
comments.
stream where
Yeah,
we break things down and stuff breaks down.
break it down.
Break it down.
Yeah,
Mm.
I'll just be
What's up,
watching the
Saule?
chat. Sorry about the playback for anybody else who watches after in the aftermath. I
Hmm.
believe we don't
The
really.
aftermath.
Yeah, I don't
The
the after
aftermath of
video.
Don't Worry Wednesday.
I don't think we actually really need the chat over there at the moment because this chat is there is another chat just in the distance and that is recorded
Hmm.
post stream. So if someone comes in
Yeah.
and they can still see it even though the stream's done and done with for several days. So
Yeah.
um
Yeah. Like you know, we
a
could have
dance.
more people.
Oh, I was gonna suggest a dancing animal like a kangaroo or something, but I think more
We
people is
could have,
better.
dude, a dancing animal and more people.
A dancing animal on
More
more people.
people dancing with and on
Animal
animals.
with and on animals, but on safely. Safely.
Safely.
More people
Uh,
safely dancing with and on animals. Yes, we should.
yes.
Yes. We could have that.
Oh my
All right.
gosh, how would you dance safely on an animal?
I could imagine
I,
like if you're on back riding on a horse, maybe you just do this like that, but
you could do the Gangnam style.
not the full Gangnam style. I don't think you want to do the leg movements on the horse. You have to be careful.
Yeah.
Dance
Dancing
on
on
a
a
cow.
cow. You
Yeah.
could totally do that. I see bull riders do that.
Wow.
It's
And are they
kind of a little
safe?
dance that they do. It's like it lasts like a few seconds.
I think bull riding is like the epitome of unsafe animal handling.
You know, yeah.
Like, pretty sure that's the whole point of it.
It's not safe at all.
Yeah.
So we're gonna have a rodeo in the spot where the chat is.
There we go, guys. We've figured it out. That's what we're gonna do.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Um, by the way, welcome, Soleil. Nice to see you. And
Yes.
thank you for writing that in the chat. How is everybody, by the way? And while you answer that, I'm gonna refresh this the topics I have because
You better
I think
refresh the topics.
Joe added some here for us.
Well, I didn't add them. They were added by some
You
of you.
curated them, I mean. Yeah.
I did. I curated them.
And one of them is urgent.
Can
Can we have
it
an
is,
epic
yes.
origami giraffe?
And we
Can
will get
you?
to it urgently.
Yes, you can have an epic origami giraffe. Of course you can, Saleh. You might have to make it yourself, though. And you will, if you don't know how to do that, you might be able to find an instructional video hidden somewhere on the internet, but I don't know.
Yes. And the shampoo is the most important part.
Yeah.
Make sure you follow all of the steps for
All
the
the
epic
steps.
origami giraffe.
Yeah. Make sure you have a table and safety equipment nearby for certain maneuvers, as they're
Yes.
called,
Yes.
maneuvers.
Yep. And you need a sword.
Mm, that looks a little bit like some. Oh yeah, no, that's right. Some swords and a sword and a some scissors that are not paper cutting scissors. They're for cutting tin,
Yeah,
right?
those were like tin snips, right?
Yeah, tin snips. Yeah. Because the paper's got to
Which,
be. It's going to be if you want an epic origami giraffe, you have to use tin snips because the paper has to be of epic strength, such that
yes,
regular scissors can't cut through it.
right.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of tin snips, you know what's crazy?
Hmm.
This is totally off topic, but you so you know how like we started this wood shop. It's a wood shop.
Yeah.
And we basically got all this stuff, like it was from your dad's shop. We got a lot of
Mm-hmm.
this equipment from your
Yeah.
dad's shop. And so like I'm organizing all of this stuff, right? And it's crazy because there's so much stuff. There's so many
Mm.
tools, there's so many hand tools, there's so many everything. And it's just like it's all in this big pile on shelves. And now we're trying to organize it and sort it and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
There's like a dozen pair of tin snips in a wood shop.
Because they kept on getting lost. I'm guessing. Are they being used
Like,
to? I have to imagine they're used for cutting off the ends of nails.
I don't know if they would work for that.
Yeah, they might not. Maybe to staples.
Maybe staples, but
It's
I
like
mean, they're
why
really
use
only
that?
good for like thin sheet metal stuff, right? So it's
I'm trying to
like
think what could have been used, what that would be used for.
for a nail, you'd want bolt cutters or
Yeah, I
something.
get you would. I have
But
no
yeah,
idea
that was
what.
crazy, man. I was
Oh,
like,
oh, I think I know. Maybe they were being used to cut what's that stuff called? Laminate?
oh, maybe.
Maybe.
I could see that happening.
Yeah. That would make
We did
sense.
not use those when we were making a countertop
Right.
recently, but I it would work for sure.
Right. Oh.
Where can you get some pre-made Metal Epic battle armor?
You have to go find a can um from this is like very hard to find. It's an energy drink from a company called Monavi, and it has to be
Oh,
the EMV energy drink. And
oh,
you can then pre-cut it for your epic metal or your epic giraffe making.
is that where your pre-made Metal Epic battle armor came
Yeah,
from?
that's right. That's right. It came from
Wow.
us.
Wow. You're so resourceful.
Thank you.
Yeah. I figured it was tinfoil and you just like made it out of
No, no, it
tinfoil
was
or
actually
something,
made
but
out of a tin can. So you can use
wow.
any tin can you want. That was just the one I picked. Yeah, that's
And it's a skinny tin can, so it'd
it
be like
is.
a
It
like
is.
a like a Red Bull can or
Mm-hmm.
a
Mm-hmm.
that would probably work too.
Yeah.
Trimming.
Yeah, a can the size of a Red Bull would be perfect. I've
Mhm.
never had Red Bull. Have you ever had it?
Have I had Red Bull?
Oh, you thought it was aluminum foil. No, it was actually made out of
Yeah, that's what
a
I
can.
thought too.
Some of it might be aluminum foil, but most of it's a can. Snippets of a
Okay.
can. That's what the tin sips are for,
Interesting.
also.
Yeah, they would work for that. Um, yeah, I have had Red Bull. It was a long time ago. I didn't really like
Mm.
it. It to me it tasted like carbonated cough medicine.
Oh, okay. I see. Like cherry kind of taste?
No,
No, just okay. Got
like
it.
like original Benadryl
Okay, that doesn't sound very
Kind of, that's what it reminded me of. Like
yeah.
Benadryl with fizz.
Fizzy Benadryl. I guess you could just mix Benadryl with Alka-Seltzer and better
Let's
for you.
go. That's an idea.
Who like wow. And then you know what?
Welcome to
Top
Don't Worry Wednesday, where you hear weird ideas like
top it
that.
off with the worst thing you can do. Um, don't they have like a very specific, very well-known alcoholic drink where you mix? It's like a highball or something, or I don't know what it's called. Corkscrew? I don't know. Where you mix Red Bull with an alcohol. What
With
is that called?
Jägermeister, it's a Jaeger bomb.
A Jaeger bomb. Yeah. So if you want
Yeah.
that, you just put Jaeger with your Benadryl and your seltzer or your seltzer.
Which, you know what's funny? You know what's really funny?
Okay.
Like,
Do not do that, by the
so,
way, anybody.
right. And I wouldn't necessarily even recommend having a Jaeger bomb. But, like, Jaeger is, like, supposed to be this, like, licorice flavor, which basically, to me, tastes like NyQuil. Original green death flavor NyQuil.
That's hilarious. So it
And then
is
you
just a
mix it
medicine
with
anyway.
carbonated Benadryl.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, that's really great. Wow,
So I'm like, what?
what a taste profile.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
funny. Amazing. It's very
I
interesting
don't
to
think I've
listen
ever
to.
had a Jaeger bomb though.
Yeah. All right, well, with all that said, um,
Now that we've gone down that
and
rabbit
once we've
hole.
proven we aren't professional psychologists or psychiatrists, professionals in nearly anything, um,
Yes.
let's do a
We
topic.
proved it. We totally proved it.
Yeah. What do you say? Do you guys want to do a topic?
I
Move
would think,
on.
yeah, that's a great
It's
idea. Like, get us
great
off this
timing.
train and get us on a topic train.
Yeah, let's do that. Um, okay. Well, I'll do that. This one is a topic that was marked as urgent, and it was titled "Tired of Life," submitted by
Hmm.
Odds. That's two D's. Oddidus. Um, I'll go ahead and put this on screen. You can feel free to read along. It's not terribly long. I'm going to quickly grab that information and transition. Once again, this is from Odds, titled Tired of Life, and it reads as follows. I'm tired of life. No job, no money, no happiness, no friends, all betrayals. From Odds. It's no job, no money, no happiness, no friends, all betrayals. That sounds like a very awful time, and
Mm-hmm.
something that I hope that we can come into with some light and some amount of persuasiveness and hope for you. But I understand that there are times when, no matter what gets said, the evidence keeps pointing back to, okay, life isn't so great right now. And so, even in those times, uh, it's okay to be tired. It's okay to it's okay to feel that way. I just want to
Mm-hmm.
say, but it's of course not good to act violently or in with evil intentions towards yourself or anybody in spite of the feeling. That
Mm-hmm.
feeling should not lead you to those kinds of things. But it is okay to feel feel that, and I think it's a thing that's very real, and many people have felt it. Um,
Mm-hmm.
one of the oldest stories of all time of mankind is is about someone who experiences that, like
Mm-hmm.
Job, for example.
Mm-hmm.
So it's okay to feel that, um, but we're going to do our best to help you begin the journey of moving on beyond that, or at least through it, and using it to your advantage rather than to your own betrayal, to your own dismay. And hopefully, we can do something like that here. Um, but whoever you are, wherever you're at, know that we love you, we appreciate you and your existence, and um, we value you, and you're valuable to us, and you're valuable to the
Mhm.
world. Um,
Mhm.
I know it's hard to sometimes take that when it's like, well, you don't know who I am. I named myself
Right.
gods, and you don't know who that is. It's like we don't need to know exactly who you are to know that you're valuable, and we know that to some degree you're at least part of this community, and we know a lot of people in the community. We don't know who you are, but we know that pretty much everybody we encounter, not even pretty much, everybody we've encountered through Don't Worry Wednesday has been such a wonderful and beautiful person. And so um, I can say with assuredness that you uh, are important to us, and not just because of a view or something like that, but because of who you are and what you're capable of and what you've done in your life, even though we don't know all that that is. And you don't know all that
Mhm.
that is either. But
Mhm.
you're valuable. Your life is really valuable to us.
Mhm.
Maybe I'll speak more on that later, and I'll explain why I can feel uh, confident in saying that, even though I don't necessarily know the exact person that you are or who I'm speaking with. I'll go into that maybe a little bit later. But for now, um, I'll give it over to Joe. Joe's definitely had a lot of this experience in his life, even recently, of I'm tired of life feeling. Um,
Mhm.
I know that he's been in positions similar to the ones you're speaking of now. Um, Betrayal is really horrible. So,
Mhm.
um, yeah, we'll do our best with this, and we hope that one way or another that this ends up being good and useful for you. Uh, but yeah, that's what I've got for now. Joe, go ahead. It's all yours.
All right. I'm gonna do my best. Odds. First of all, I want to apologize. I'm very, very sorry you're going through this. I know how much of a struggle this can be. I know how hard it is, how painful it is, how much despair can creep into your life, and it's it can be so painful and feel so hopeless. And it's it's such a painful spot to be in, and I'm sorry that's where you're at, but I know like Ryan said, I've experienced this a handful of times. It feels like there've been a handful of times in my life where I've basically just lost everything. And even though I didn't really lose everything, I still had a bed to sleep in. I still had clean water to drink. I still found a way to eat, you know, and it's crazy because with all this inner turmoil, when we have these basic comforts still taken care of, or some of the basic needs still taken care of, like at least there can be some thankfulness for that. Not long ago, I had the chance to go serve at a every weekend. There's a group in our community that goes to the main bus station in the city of Lansing, and hands out food and hats and different stuff to help homeless people. And there's always just like a huge line out the door of homeless people coming through to get a hot meal and to get stuff. And it's a really cool experience. My son's basketball team was serving there, and so I was there helping, and I talked to my son about it, and I was like, "So what'd you learn about, through this experience?" And he was like, "Well, I learned that homeless people are pretty cool, actually. They're pretty chill. They're pretty down to earth, I mean, just because they don't have wealth, they don't have a lot of material goods, it doesn't change what's in their heart." And a lot of times those people, they're some of the nicest, kindest people, and part of it is they're a lot of them are so thankful. They're just like, "Oh my gosh, I've been waiting to eat," you know? Um, and so when you experience people like that and you can offer care and you can offer love to people that are in that position, it really does help you to feel better. And so practically that might be one thing you can do to help yourself feel better while you go through this time. And that is to, help someone, even just holding a door for someone, without any expectation of anything in return. You just are doing something helpful. It can take your mind off your situation and it can put you in a position of helping, which generally will always lift your spirit. So even in this situation where everything seems horrible and downtrodden and full of despair, there can be some relief in that. Um, as far as I understand what it feels like to have no job and no money. I understand that feeling. It's so stressful. And when you're looking for a job, like looking for a job is more than a full-time job sometimes. Like I was just talking to a friend of mine who was unemployed and they were looking for work and I was like, "How's it going?" And they're like, "Man, I spend more than 8 hours a day looking for work, like putting in applications, submitting things online, doing all this stuff, to try and find work." And I'm like, "Dude, I understand." I remember going through that time. I was unemployed for a handful of months, years ago, and it was so stressful. And just looking for something, anything to bring in some money, right? And in that time period, you're under all this stress, but you're looking, and then finally something hits and you get it, and it doesn't pay nearly enough, but you're thankful for what you're getting because you've been going without for so long. And man, I'm just I'm reliving some of these experiences now with this. And so I understand that. The feeling of having no friends, I know what that feels like, but I think if you search your life, you would know that there are people there who like you and that care for you. And if you don't have very many in your life right now, I want you can reach out on Discord. I'm Joe the Pleb on Discord. And if you need someone just to care about you, please message me. I would be happy to talk to you. I would happy to just offer care. And I don't want to speak for Ryan, but I know he's done that for me and for other people too.
Hmm.
Where it's
Yeah.
just like when you feel friendless, there are people that would love to care about you, that would love to be your friend.
Yeah, you can reach
And
out
we
to me
don't
too.
what's that?
Yeah, you can reach out to me too.
Thanks, Ryan, I will. Um
Thanks, Joe.
but no, I'm just kidding. Um but yeah, and I wonder part of me wonders the circumstances which led you to this. I don't know if you want to talk about it. You can submit it a new topic if you want. If you don't want, it's totally okay. If you want to reach out on Discord, I'd love to talk to you more. But sometimes things happen to us that make us feel like nobody cares. Like the world would be better off if we didn't exist. Like, what's the point? Like, why do I have to go through all this pain? I can remember praying and I remember going to confession to a priest and confessing to the priest about my prayer life, which was basically yelling at God, arguing with God, complaining, and like mostly just being mad, being really, really upset that like why did you create anything at all? You know what the priest told me? It was really interesting. He was like, at least you're not silent. Because God can handle, your anger and your frustration and your yelling and your arguing and all that kind of stuff, right? And Kendra, I really admire you. I see you in the chat. You said, currently, even though I have a job that pays well enough, my student loans essentially take it all, so I don't have spare money to spend. but I'm not too worried about money right now. I trust God. I put my trust in God to help me get through this and have always gotten money right when I need it. Not when I want it, but when I need it. And I admire you, Kendra, for continuing to have that trust because I did not. I had lost my trust. Now, I didn't lose my faith. I didn't ever get to the point where I was like, God doesn't exist. Because I was like, I just look around at the world and I'm like, how could there not be a God? I mean, look at all this universe around us and its complexity and its beauty and its, magnificence. Like there had to be something that created this. And so like that's God. And I'm like, okay, um, so he's there, but I was really mad at him and I didn't trust him because I was like, you brought me into this existence and now you're putting me through this. Man, I really am mad at you. And it's hard. And I've gone through experiences like that, like Ryan said, a few times. And so I can totally, totally relate. But the last 2 words of your topic here that says all betrayals, that to go through a betrayal, especially a serious betrayal, like a really close friend, or even if it's a romantic friend that you've been betrayed by, a betrayal can put you in that state quicker than anything, in my opinion. When you feel betrayed, you put your trust in someone, you know, and then they betray you. The sinking, the stabbing, the every just it hurts so bad, and it can so quickly put you into this state of mind that you're in right now. And so, if it's a betrayal that put you here, I'm so sorry because that's honestly, in my experience, is one of the most painful things you can go through emotionally is betrayal. But I'll tell you what, you can heal. It might not happen fast. It might not be easy. In fact, I can almost promise you it's going to be hard. But one of the things I've learned about going through times like this is that when you come out the other side, and it will happen at some point. The amount of wisdom and perspective you gain from going through a time like this is unmatched by any other experience. I've had a lot of great experiences in my life. I've had a lot of glorious, wonderful things, and I've had a lot of really, really hard things happen, just like everybody else. We all go through that roller coaster of life. And I tell you, the times that are the most deeply painful, the times that I've sunk the lowest, the times that I've hit rock bottom, whether it's financially, physically, emotionally, mentally, all of that. Those are the times that gain me the most knowledge, the most wisdom, the most perspective. And so really right now, odds, you are in you I would like to consider you as you've been planted, meaning you're like a seed that's been planted. Because that's where a plant is at its lowest, basically, right? Well, not real well, then the roots grow down, but okay, so maybe it's a bad analogy. However, when you're in that nothingness time, when you feel like you have nothing and you are nothing and nothing matters and all of that, it's basically like you're a seed that's been planted into the ground. And as you go through the struggles that, continue, as you move on and take it one day at a time, it's gonna be painful for a while, probably. That's normal. You're not weird and you're not wrong, but that's like your roots growing and you're reaching down. And then eventually your head will pop up and you get a little breath of fresh air and you'll be like, oh my God, a little bit of relief. And then it'll rain on you and then you'll feel like you're drowning and then you'll grow a little bit bigger. But I'm telling you, it's worth it to hold on. No matter what the struggle is, no matter how painful it is, it's worth it to hold on. And I don't know what's on the other side of this for you. I don't know what is on the other side of it for me. I've been in a major soul searching, you know, time for the better part of a couple years, digging and digging and learning and growing and all this kind of stuff and not seeing any surface, nothing showing on the surface at all. It's just all internal. And so I'm still looking to see what's on the other side of this for me. But I can tell you I've learned a lot, I've grown a lot, and I can look at my situation now and be a little more at peace now than I was a while ago. So, odds again, I'm sorry. I'm sorry you're going through this. But better days are coming. More peace is coming. And I would just encourage you to hold on and please, please reach out. If you just need somebody to talk to, you need a friend, please reach out. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to Ryan because I know Ryan has also been through times of desolation, times of, not having much at all. He's been through betrayal. He's been through a lot of this stuff. So, and he probably has a much better, more wise, more brilliant perspective than I do. So I'm going to give it to him. And he's got better hair.
No, your hair's so straight.
It's, man,
It's
it is.
so straight, but part of that is because it's so incredibly fine and short. But like,
You bet.
dang, yeah.
Yeah.
And your
That
this part
micrometer
is
of hair that I have right here
yeah,
is,
it's like
super straight.
so straight. It's incredible. Um, jeez, I have better hair. Whatever, man. That's so funny. Um, well, yeah, thanks, Joe. And honestly, that I think that was really well said. I mean, if nothing else, it's right, it's correct, and it's relatable. Um, Sometimes we go through these things, and um, we find our own way through them. Sometimes it takes a long time. Sometimes it's not so long, but there are many times where we find our way through it, not knowing what we're doing or the way that we're doing it. Life is just moving, and as we go forth blindly, things happen, and our minds change, and our perspectives move, and we end up um, kind of out of it. Um, but there are many times I'd say that there there comes a point in most people's lives where they get here and they stay here for a while, and then something happens inside where they make a choice, and then oh, am I using the wrong mic? I might be. Um, I can take a look real quick, see what's going on there. It says it's the right one. I don't know. I don't
For
know what's going
OBS
on.
or for Discord?
For
Wait, you
OBS?
sound better now
Oh, okay. OBS says it's the right one. Maybe.
to me.
Okay. Anyways, um, The
But I'm not listening to you on stream. I'm listening to you on the
Yeah,
call.
it's better now. All I did was bump it. All I did was
You
bump
did
it.
it.
Something happened, I
You did
guess,
it.
internally.
Good job.
Some some frequencies were firing backward or something on it. I don't know.
You
Um,
know, I know a guy who can make you a custom mic cable.
oh yeah, I think I
Hmm.
know that guy.
You probably do.
He's pretty cool.
Sometimes.
Yeah, well,
Depends on what day it is.
everyone's a little bit sometimes. Everyone's a little bit
Yeah.
sometimes. Let's be honest. Um, uh, so, anyways, yeah. Science Rocks just said, there you have to make a choice at some point. Um, and maybe that choice is something you're making right now. Maybe it's something you'll make in the future. But I know that in many cases, many times, once you get tired of life and you stay there for a while, at some point you decide something, and that decision moves you forward very slowly, but it moves you forward, and it echoes out and continues to move you forward as you make the decision over and over again. And sometimes we don't know what that decision is going to be, but I hope that whenever that comes to you, whenever that decision, that thought comes to you that helps you move beyond this, that you notice it and you take it up, because it's going to be difficult to do that. But you had courage today to reach out.
Mhm.
So I imagine you'll
Yes.
also have courage on that day to take that opportunity and to cling on to whatever that decision might be. It might be something where you decide that you're your enemy and you fight whatever is inside of you. It might be that you decide that there's someone out there that's worth struggling for. Um, there could be anything, anything, and it takes you on a journey. And I'll say that most of the time, the way out of this is through a journey. It's through latching on to something that isn't yourself. It's something beyond yourself. Because you don't have the answers for this. And if you latch on to you, as if you're holding on for dear life, you don't have anything to gain from yourself. And you don't really, I mean, it's like, I think a lot of times we get stuck where we're at
Hmm.
because we cling to ourselves. And that might
Hmm.
not be the case for you right now. It might be out of left field for this response, but I think a lot of times when we when we're looking at ourselves and we're saying, well, I don't have this, I don't have that. You're saying you don't have a job, you don't have money, you don't have happiness, you don't have friends. Um, and you could be right about that. I'm not arguing on that. I mean, you're very right. That's correct. And it's right to observe those things. I'm not saying that by any means you shouldn't have made this post or shouldn't be noticing these things. These things are important to notice.
Hmm.
Um,
Hmm.
so it's good. And so that's why I said I'm not pointing a finger here and saying I know what you've got, I know what you're doing, because I don't know, but I know that in my life and in the lives of many around me that I witnessed, there are times where we pity ourselves,
Hmm.
where we hold on to ourselves as if we were holding on to something like it's the last straw or it's like material gain. Someone
Hmm.
who is greedy, who wants all the materials, and they are a hoarder, let's say, and their house is full of things.
Hmm.
Those people often feel empty
Hmm.
and like nothing is satisfying them. So they have to reach out for more materials and they hoard more. And they can't let go of anything because, heaven forbid, they let go of this, they might never see it again. Maybe they'll need it in the future. They don't know. And so all
Hmm.
these things they've got, it's as if they don't have anything. All these
Hmm.
things they have, they can't move forward in life because they can't let go of it. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And I'm not saying that's you here. Again, I'm just trying to help you navigate whatever it is you're going through. And at times like these, a lot of times, the reality is we're a slave to something.
Hmm.
And if we could let go of it, we'd be free to live life, let's say, and wouldn't be so tired of it. Now, that's not always the case. Again, can't point a finger. I don't know what you're going through exactly. I don't know what's caused all of this. I don't know what's happened. But I can say that there have been many times where people, and Joe was kind of pointing you in this direction too, where you go out and you just serve others and you forget yourself. You forget your needs. Forget that you don't have a job. You forget that you don't have money. You forget that you're not happy. You forget that you don't have friends because you're out there doing things for others who also maybe they don't have money, you know. Anyways, you're not thinking about it because all you're there to do is serve, and you're not looking for a reward. You're not looking for payment. You're not serving to get served. You're not serving to make a paycheck. You're just out there and you're living your life, and you're free from all those things that are ordinarily binding you. Because in that moment, you don't need that. Like in the moment that you're serving somebody else and you're able to provide something, it isn't dependent upon you having a job. It isn't dependent upon you having money or happiness or friends. You're out there and you're free from all those things and you're just acting. Not acting as in pretending, you're acting out in some service and something good, and something good is happening, something good is coming from you. And that goodness that's coming from you, it's from you, not from the things you have. It's you have yourself, I suppose, and you can make decisions with that self, and it's coming from that. And I think many times in people's lives when they're in that moment, they're free. They're free from all of these things in their head, from all of these things of lacking. Because all of these things that you listed, they're things that you lack. They're things you wish you had. But in you lack nothing. You lack nothing to be, in order to be the best you, in order to live your best life, you personally, yeah, you can learn some skills. You could learn people skills. You could learn active skills, how to sew. You know, maybe you could learn some financial skills, things like that, etc. Yeah, but in you, there's nothing lacking from you to be able to do good, to be able to do holy things, beautiful things. And I dare use the word holy. You know, it's like people are afraid of that word because it's a powerful word and it's a religious word. But
I think that's why they don't like it, is because it's a religious word.
yeah, because it's a religious word. But holy, there's power in that word. It's something that is undeniably good and pure of intention and helpful. Even if you're an atheist, you can do something that is like that. You might not be able to do it to its full extent by, you know, necessarily working hand in hand with the Holy Spirit or for something. I suppose one could make that argument, but I would also make the argument that you certainly could, because God can do whatever heck he wants. So regardless, acknowledging holiness or not, I think to be able to do something powerfully good, there's nothing that you lack to be able to do something like that. And yes, the more you have, the more you might be able to do that. You know, someone with a lot of money can do a lot of good. But as we see, someone with a lot of money can do a lot of bad too.
Yes, true.
And we can also see people who have forsaken and given up all of their money. And they have done an incredible job of doing a lot of good with their life. I mean, Mother Teresa is a really great example of that. And it's someone we can all look to and say, you know what? No money, no job, no friends. Check, check, check. What about the happiness one? Well, it was independent of those. Her happiness came from somewhere else. Her happiness came from within. Her happiness came from her perception, you know, her perception of her life. She chose no money. She chose no job. And what she chose to do sort of landed her into no friends. And she
Mm-hmm.
was okay with that because she accepted the terms. Was she happy? Well, I don't know. I didn't ask her. But I imagine she was satisfied with the choices she had made. She was probably happy with them. And her perception of the world and all the good and holiness she was doing, she didn't need a job. She didn't need the money. She didn't need the friends in order to find that happiness. Um, she was kind of a little bit of a feisty one, I'd say. If you ever listen to her talk, the way that anybody says that she talked to them, she could be feisty at times, and it was good. It was a good kind of feisty, you know. But yeah, she liked to stick it to people sometimes, and it was good, you know. She wasn't afraid to charge people with more, like as in like tell them they could do better, you know, call them little sissies sometimes. She wasn't afraid to do that, and I think she's just that kind of gal. And we're not all that way, but she's just kind of fun in that sense. Also, kind of like, you know, a little bit, you know, like she knew who she was.
Mm.
And I think a lot of times when we're tired of life, it's because we don't know who we are. And we're kind of just stuck. We're stuck in a life we didn't pick. We're stuck in a life, you know, we didn't choose. We're stuck with all these things that are happening in our lives that we don't want it to be that way. And worst of all, we're stuck with ourselves. And that can be where you're at.
Mm-hmm.
But a lot of times we're there because we don't know who we are. And if you can discover that person inside of you, waiting to be discovered, and the joys of that, the goodness that's in there, the goodness waiting to come out. Because a lot of times we're eager, we're very easy. It's very easy to see all the bad and like say that's who we are, but that's not real. That's not true. Because we're more than that. We're much more than that. We aren't the sum of all the bads, right? In fact, bads are usually just things that are lacking goodness, and so really, the sums of zero is still zero. Sometimes we can be evil, and we do need to fix that. And sometimes no amount of soul searching can find us, find that we are actually good, generally speaking. And sometimes we do need to correct that. Sometimes we have to look at that and go, okay, the problem is I've found who I am and I'm not good and I need to fix that. And sometimes we're stuck in a situation where we don't even know who we are anymore. We've been manipulated because of all these needs. We're a living slave to the world around us and these things that we believe or we're told would get us happiness. And we can't grab them because they aren't in our power to grab, because we don't get to decide how things play out. We don't get to decide when other people betray us. We can decide our friends, and hopefully we decide wisely, and we can vet them well, and we can figure out, okay, which friends are least likely to betray me, and we can also maybe get to a point where it's like, you know, I pick my friends well, but even if they do betray me, I'm gonna be all right because I know how to handle that. I'll handle that a few times, and now I get it. Now I'm a little bit more. My life doesn't have to depend on their feelings or their actions towards me, and I'm a free man, you know. But what I'm saying is, like, you're not in the wrong for being angry about betrayal, right? Not at all.
Not at all.
You're not in the wrong for having no job, no money, no happiness, no friends. You're not necessarily in the wrong for that. It could be, but at the same time, you don't just get to wake up one day and say, hey, did you know that I work as the CEO of McDonald's? And you do. You don't just say that and suddenly you are. So you don't get to decide reality. Reality is just happening with or without you, and you are in it. And so if you get stuck there and reality isn't on your side, or at least you feel like it's not on your side, it can be very tiring because you're attempting to seize control of something you cannot control. And after a time of that, yeah, you're going to feel tired, really sick and tired of everything. So sometimes, I'm not saying this is what's going to help you, but in case it does, because I've seen it help people before, sometimes you have to recognize that we've become a slave to something, and we have to be willing to let go completely before we can get better. We have to let go of something. Sometimes it's expectations, the way other people think about us, the way we think other people think about us, the way we think we're perceived by our peers or our parents or our siblings or our underlings. Sometimes you have to let go of all of that, all of those stigmas or all of the expectations that people have on us. Sometimes we have to let go of the social norms. Sometimes we have to let go of who we think we are or who we're pretending to be. Sometimes we have to let go of people who have betrayed us and just forgive them and move on. Sometimes we have to let go of some bad habits. Sometimes we just have to let go and be freed of our vices and pursue something higher. Pursue virtues. Pursue that which is good and ignore, just completely to our best of our abilities, ignore those things which attempt to seize hold of our lives so much so that we become a slave to them. Because there is so much that we can't control. I'm not saying stop attempting to find a job. I'm not saying stop worrying about money entirely and just give up on money. But I am saying, to some degree, we have to be willing to sacrifice to be able to gain. And sometimes we have to move blindly into things that we don't know in order to get what we yet don't have. Because you don't yet see what you can't, you don't see what's out there. And so if you're tired of life, I don't know why. And it could be many things. But there can be many things that make us tired, and there can be many things that make us come alive. And if there's something that makes you tired, maybe try to find out what makes you come alive.
That's a great point.
And be willing to suffer. That's my last statement. Be willing to suffer. You're already suffering. You're already suffering, and not by your own hand. Or maybe some of it by your own hand. It's a mixed bag. It's always a mixed bag. We're all suffering by our own hands and by other people's hands at times. I think mostly we suffer by our own hands. But anyways, be willing to suffer. Don't put yourself in a position anymore where your aim is to avoid suffering. You can't make the best friends in life that you need by having a mentality that avoids pain and suffering. And the same is true for everything. So if you feel like you're tired of running because life demands that you run in order to not suffer, be willing to suffer for something good. Because suffering is not evil. And suffering can be evil, and evil can cause suffering, surely. And I don't mean allow yourself to be in a position where someone's taking full advantage of you. That's not what I mean by this at all. But don't be afraid. Don't let suffering, I guess what I'm saying is don't be a slave to avoiding suffering. Choose your path and suffer where it comes. There are times in life where you will meet people and you will have things to say to them and you will step all over them to say it. And it's better that you do than it is for you to avoid some kind of tribulation or, disharmony. So, same is true for everything. Um, but though that's a broad stroke of things, it's a broad stroke of just thoughts that I can lay on you that might help you maybe have a little thought to yourself. I kind of doubt, a lot of times this is how it goes. I kind of doubt that I said something that completely makes you think the right thing. But sometimes just saying words and talking about it and listening and hearing things and hearing other people's experiences or just, yeah, makes you think and unlocks something in your brain that no one even said, but you found it there. Some kind of pathway led you there and you found something in your own brain that sparked a little bit of a realization. And if you found anything like that tonight, I really hope you take that advice I started with, which is to have courage, make that choice to pursue something, and stick with that decision and see where it takes you. Because a lot of times that's kind of the way out of things like this. But anyhow, that's what I've got. I hope it's helpful. I didn't talk really anything on your value, but I can. And if you ever want to talk to me in private, you can send me a Discord message and we can talk about that. Or maybe Joe wants to talk about that, but anyhow, that's what I have for now. So I'm gonna move on and give it over to Joe. Give it back over to Joe. See what he's got to say.
You're gonna give me it back.
Yeah. Like volleyball.
Perfect.
Yes, sir.
I just want to reiterate before that I'm sorry that you're going through this. Neon's Wednesday says in the chat, the best part about being betrayed is realizing you actually didn't need those people or that situation and that you are actually fine without it and can be better without it.
That is so true. That's so true.
If you realize that, then you won't be as afraid to be betrayed in the future because you know you will be okay. Now, I do want to say, though, even though you can have that knowledge, it still hurts to be betrayed.
Yeah, of course. It always, yeah.
Especially once you've poured your heart into somebody and they betray you, like that. There is no other pain in the world, in my experience, like that. It's so hard and it's so hurtful.
Yeah.
And Skillful Films, who is that Science Rocks?
That's Science Rocks, yeah.
Science Rocks. Welcome back, my friend. So they say, even I still have trust issues and don't feel like I fit in, but I've just got problems overall. I don't think you're alone in that. Yeah. Because I have major trust issues too. It takes me a long time to trust somebody. And you know what? Even people that I've trusted, I've had moments where, it wouldn't have even been a big betrayal, but just a small betrayal. And then it's like, maybe an inadvertent betrayal. And still, then I don't trust them for like a long time. So I've got trust issues coming out of my ears too, man. It's okay. But yeah, the chats, you guys are awesome, man. As I says, can't have trust issues if you aren't scared of getting hurt and know how to handle yourself when people break your trust. Yep. And I like this from Skillful Films. One piece of advice I'd give to anybody: find something you can do, even something small, something you can take control of or be proud of, and do it. Start from there.
Yeah.
That is a tremendous start.
Mm-hmm.
Just something, anything. And like Ryan said earlier, what kinds of things can make you come alive? There have been things in your life where you have felt alive. I remember when I was in therapy, and those were some of the things that I had to search for, that my therapist helped me search for. And also, if you're going through this, it might behoove you to find a counselor or a therapist or somebody to talk to about this, that can take the time and help walk you through some of the steps to get you to feel a little bit better and a little bit more hopeful. I
Mm.
know that when the the moment I always know when I need to find a therapist, and that is when my mental challenges, the things that I'm going through and my thoughts and my emotions, when those are starting to impact my day-to-day living, like, and I can't accomplish things because my mind is so warped, that's when I need to go find somebody to talk to usually. I need to find a counselor, because that way it's a person that, you know, it's outside my sphere of friends, if that makes sense. And so, like, when you're there, you're not feeling like you're going to be judged because they're not connected to you in any way. And so it doesn't really matter. And so you can just kind of open up, you know, and at least that's my experience. Because sometimes, I mean, we all have this, we maintain our performances with the people we know, with our families and our friends and all that kind of stuff. And it's like we we kind of feel like we have to be a certain way when we're around them and stuff. And so, like, when you go find a counselor that you can just like lay it all out and just be like, you know what, this is what happened, and then they can kind of walk you through some steps. That I've found that to be really, really helpful. So, um, it might be good. I would highly recommend maybe going and finding a counselor or a therapist to talk to during this time. It doesn't have to be forever, but just while you're in this pit, because it's a tough pit
Mm.
to be in when you're at that level of despair. Um, so I'd encourage you to do that. And like Ryan said, find something that makes you come alive. And then the one other thing I would say to help you feel better, and this will have a twofold impact, is that when you can just go out and be kind.
Mm.
I have made new friends pretty quickly a lot of times just by being kind.
Yeah.
Even in like gaming,
Mm-hmm.
when you're
Yeah.
playing a game and there's a chat going on or whatever, or like, you end up in some co-op thing because that's whatever. And so, like, you just shoot off a message to this person, hey, thanks for joining my co-op, whatever, just say something kind. You'd be amazed at, like, people who would reciprocate to that. And you might just find some friends. It's not and it can be scary though. Like, a lot of times we're scared and we kind of have this fear programmed into us. If you don't know them, you shouldn't trust them, and all this kind of stuff. And yeah, that's true, but the only way you're ever going to learn to trust someone is if you get to know them. And the only way you're ever going to get to know them is to, like, get to know them, talk to them a little
Yeah.
bit, right?
That's right.
And so spread some kindness and see what kind of kindness will come back to you, because people who are inherently kind are going to respond in kindness with you. And it might take some time to develop friendships with them. I mean, especially like for me, it takes a long time because of the trust issues that I was just talking about, right? So it takes a while. Like, I have to like talk to somebody for a while and kind of get to know them a little bit before I actually trust them to actually be my friend. And so those of you who are my friends, you've done a good job. Thanks.
I didn't know how to do much of anything at all. You've been doing great, man.
Most of that, well, it's not that you did something, it's that
Yeah,
who you are,
yeah.
you know?
Mm.
And that's really like what Ryan was talking about. When we talk about inherent value, your
Mm.
inherent value, here's the thing, like I've met a lot of false friends.
Mm.
You know, Ryan and I own Black Static and Swerve together.
Mm.
And like when I mean, this is Static P, the Static P, right? And I get the chance to work with this dude, which is incredible, right? And so, but what that does is you get into these communities sometimes, and there are fans who just kind of want to be there and stuff like that. And it hits different when somebody comes into your life and it's because of some kind of fame or accomplishment or
Hmm.
something that you do, right?
Yeah, that's true.
The best friendships I've had, sometimes it starts there. Sometimes that's where the initial connection is made, but it doesn't feel real until they actually get to know my heart and I get to know their heart. And so now a lot of times if I meet friends like outside of, what we do with Black Static and Swerve and in our discords and stuff like that, if I meet people like that, I don't mention anything that I do. I don't talk about this kind of stuff. I just be friendly, and I want to feel their heart and I want them to feel mine because I want our friendship to grow based on that, not based on accomplishments or performance or anything like that. Does that make sense?
Hmm.
Because then it's real. And the best way to do that, I think, is to just be kind and allow people to return kindness to you. Because in this time of despair that you're in this pit that you're in, it's going to be really easy to disregard other people's kindness. Always has been for me. There might have been people trying to be nice to me, trying to be my friend, and I would push them away and go and be in my little world of pain, you know? And it's not that I was trying to be a jerk. If I was, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It's just that I was dealing with a lot, right? But it's really easy to disregard that. And so as you're spreading this kindness, don't expect people to be kind to you, but also notice it when they are. Take care to notice when people are being kind to you in return. And sometimes people will be kind to you without you doing anything for them in the first place. And then you can reciprocate with kindness as well. And it really boils down to that love that you have in your heart. And I know you have love in your heart because we all do. It just gets buried under performances. It gets buried under expectations. It gets buried under professions. It gets buried under all kinds of stuff. But your value does not lie in the fact that you have a job or have money or have a lot of friends or, or what people have done to you. That has no impact whatsoever on your value because your value is in you and nobody can take it. And nobody can really give it to you either. It's yours and it's you. And when you go through a time like this, like Ryan was talking about, you kind of strip off all the extra outer stuff. And as painful as it is, it's very cleansing. And then you come out, you kind of reemerge, and you're just like, you know what? I'm just me now. I don't have anything to show. I don't have anything to show off. I don't have anything to brag about. I don't have anything, whatever. I'm just me. And that's the perfect place to start from. Because then The friendships you develop in that are authentic. And that's a really, really beautiful thing. So I applaud you. I know it's you're trudging through this and it's hard, but you're entering a stage in your life where you can become more and more authentic. And hitting rock bottom, I've discovered, is the best place to start. Because when you're at the bottom, you don't need to fear falling, you know?
Yep. That's that
And,
freedom I've
and when
stuck
you're
with.
up to your and I've heard this saying too, when you're up to your neck in crap, it doesn't hurt to wet your pants. So it's okay.
Nice.
So don't worry about it. It's okay. It's okay. You're going to be okay. And I'm sorry it's hard, but it'll be okay. And you'll grow. You can grow from this. So that's all I got.
Mm. Yeah. I mean, I think I I could say more on the friendship stuff, uh, but um, like interesting things that maybe people don't really talk about. But I think if at this point, uh, that's a lot to take in that we've talked about. We've said a lot, and I want you
Hmm.
to be able to kind of settle in on it and re-listen to it if you want. If you have anything you want to talk about more, if you do want to talk about friendships or you want to talk about how to get a job, or you know, maybe where things are working for you financially, is there a better way to deal with your money or whatever, things like that. Any of these things that you've brought up, if you want to talk about them more, you're of course feel free to submit another topic about them. And also, you're absolutely free to reach out to us, and on through Discord or whatever. And if you don't have the information, it's pretty easy to find. But
Hmm.
yeah. Anyhow, so yeah, with that, with what Joe said, I think I'll just let that be and the end there. So thank you, Joe, and thank you so much, Odds, for having the courage in this difficult time, having the energy in this very difficult time, because I know that that's not expendable, and you know it's something that takes a lot of energy to do something like this at times. So thank you for putting forth that energy to even just get our thoughts, uh, and have have some amount of hope win you over into action. And I hope that continues to happen for you. Continue to let hope guide you forward. Not every action will end up in uh, a forward motion right away, but you can't forsake hope, because hope is the only thing really in the end that will continue moving you forward. And so I'm really glad that today or I guess that wasn't today. That was that today? Or whenever you posted this, I'm really glad that you took the that you let hope win you over, and you felt the courage to post this, and um, that even if we didn't really help today, I just encourage you to continue to try as you tried today, because in the end, that's in the end the way forward through this, so that life won't be tiresome and life can be joyful again. And maybe you've never felt life being joyful, you know, maybe not, but life can be joyful, and everyone can get there. Everyone's capable. Everyone has a mind that is capable of joy, and especially you. So keep going, and find those things that excite you once more. But thank you so much for this topic, and we wish the best for you, and we love
Yes.
you.
Cheers.
Mhm. Cheers. Clink.
Just see that? We did it.
Mm-hmm. Boom. All right. Shall we move on to another topic?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Okay. Shall we do the commutes one?
Sure.
Okay, great. Then we'll do it. I have a topic here. I'm just gonna go ahead and yeah, I'm just gonna go ahead and put it on the screen. This is by Rowan, who said they'll be asleep for this, which is totally fine. You're welcome to sleep. In fact, we encourage some amount of sleep every
Be
day.
asleep. Sleeping is
Okay.
good.
Mm-hmm. And
Hey, Sparrow.
oh, hey Sparrow, nice to see you. Um, but it's from Rowan, and we titled this "Long Commutes." Feel free to read along if you so desire. It reads as follows: I recently got offered a position, but not at a location that's close to me. I applied for one only 15 minutes away, but temporarily I'll have to be at an office 1 to 1.5 hours away. A big part of why I applied to this job was that it was close and would offer work-life balance. So now I'm struggling to come to terms with the fact that I don't know how long I'll be stuck with this commute. Do you have any thoughts on how to handle this the commute, and keep, do you have any thoughts on how to handle the commute and keeping a positive mindset? I've never had to drive that far on a daily. It's like 70 miles. From Rowan. Thank you, Rowan. Thank you for this topic. And yeah, that's quite the long drive. I mean, I used to drive for a living. Well, I used to do that
Yeah.
all the time. And so in
Mm-hmm.
that, I came prepared. And so I would say one of the things you can do is come prepared. um, and what that means is ask yourself, what are you going to do in that 1.5 hours? You've got 1.5 hours of free time. Maybe it isn't free time. Maybe a long part of it is heavy traffic and you have to pay really close attention to what's going on the road and you're, you know, whatever. And maybe that's what's going on. Maybe only part of it's that way. Maybe most of it isn't. I don't know, but I can tell you, I've had some really great things happen in my life on long commutes. In fact,
Mm-hmm.
part of my success was in the commutes. So I'll be happy to share that. And that's hopefully will help you keep a positive mindset as well. But first, I'm going to give it over to Joe, who I know also has had many long commutes in his life from different jobs and
Mm-hmm.
even having driving jobs as well. So
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Joe, it's all yours. Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for the topic, Rowan.
Yes,
I
thank you.
appreciate this. And you're in a way you're a little bit lucky because you have this long commute, like Ryan was saying. A lot of times we look at the long commute and we're just like, oh, and we start looking at this and we're like, man, I wish my work was like 5 minutes away and da 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 da, right? However, there's a blessing. There's a few blessings actually. One, you're probably not going to be the on-call guy ever.
True. Yeah.
because you live so far away
Yeah.
and
Hey,
they
can you
know that
come
if
in
they
for
call
us?
you to come in, it's going to take you an hour and a half to get there. And they're like, okay,
Yeah.
call the guy who lives 5 minutes down the road. It's our current situation with the cabinet business. I live closest. And so anytime anything is going to be happening there, I'm the guy,
Hmm.
you know?
Yeah.
It's like we're getting a delivery, I'm there. We're getting something, got an appointment for the whoever to come by and inspect something, I'm there. And so like I'm the guy who's got to be there. So hop to it, Joe. Like get it there and it's okay, like whatever. It's part of the deal. And I'm fine with it. But so that's just one little micro blessing.
That's a micro
Another
blessing.
thing,
I'm gonna be asking for
Beyond
that now.
Wednesday says,
I can have a
what's
micro
that?
blessing.
You can have a micro blessing. What
Yeah.
is it? Just microdose me some blessings, like
Yeah. I want to feel that high, but not too high. Not quite
right,
heaven, just a little
exactly.
bit like off the ground. That's okay. Thank you, Father.
Exactly.
Oh my gosh, sorry. Go on.
um, Neon's Wednesday says, make sure you're making more than you're spending in gas. Very
Yeah,
good observation. I know gas is a little bit insanely priced right now. It's kind of expensive.
yeah, it is.
Um, so yep. So just keep track of your numbers. That's okay. You know, and have the necessary conversations with whoever you need to at that place of employment if the money that you're making there is not covering your cost of travel to this place, right? Sounds to me like it's probably okay. You said temporarily you'll have to be at an office 1 to 1.5 hours away. Um, so hopefully it's not too long, I guess. But in this time, like Ryan was talking about, that time on the road can be so beneficial. And I won't steal from Ryan's story. I will just tell my own. When I drove a lot between whether it was between meetings or to and from work or whatever, my car became the quote unquote university on wheels where I would learn. I would listen to audios. I would listen to audio books. I would listen to talks about things that I needed to learn in order to be better in whatever field I was pursuing in right at that time, right? Even still, now when I'm working and, in the cabinet shop, I will generally have something from Audible playing. I'll have a book of something that I'm trying to learn. These days, it's mostly like philosophy, psychology, stuff like that, right? Because I'm trying to figure out my brain and I'm trying to figure out, like all like how stuff works. And so it's like I spend that time learning, and you can do that because a lot of times, depending on your job, like I can do that at my job because I have to have ear protection in anyway. And so I have these headphones that, play stuff. And so I can either listen to Spotify and listen to music, which I do quite a bit actually, because I really like music. I'm a musician and I love it. And so I'll listen to music, but then also I will take time and I will listen to audiobooks or I will listen out some YouTube channels I will put on. I don't listen to Don't Worry Wednesday generally
That's-
because
You're listening to
half
yourself.
the time the dude's not teaching me anything
Yeah.
because it's me talking.
Yeah. You guys can listen to Don't Worry
Right.
Wednesday if you want, but if you were the one doing it, you probably wouldn't listen to it either. So like, I
Right.
heard that already.
I can only gain benefit from half of Don't Worry Wednesday. The half that
Maybe
I'm not talking
I
in.
would say even less, but yeah, for you, yeah.
Whatever, Ryan. That's not what I would say, and what I say goes. So,
Oh, okay. Thanks.
boom, I win.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm happy.
but so you're going to be in your car, and 70 miles of heavy traffic. I don't know if there are very many places in the United States. I don't know if you're in the United States. I don't know if there's very many places where there's 70 miles of
Mhm.
heavy city traffic.
Yeah, if it's 70 miles, that's majority just freeway
I'm
for an hour
guessing
and a
you're going to
half.
be in between cities for a while.
Hmm.
And so it's going to be a little bit easier going a lot of times, depending I guess it depends on the area, um but take that time and learn something. Take that time and grow. And you can listen to music and it's great and it's entertaining. You can listen to other stuff that's entertaining and funny and lift your spirits. Sometimes I'll do that. I'll just listen to something that's funny because I'm sad and I want to make myself laugh, you know? I was recently talking to a friend and they were like, I was talking about, I think I said on Don't Worry Wednesday like a month or two ago, where I was like, I can't even cry anymore because like I cried all the time for like years. And so like now I can't. And so it's just like face pressure,
Hmm.
you know,
Got
like
it.
I know I need to and I can't. And so they suggested, okay, just watch something or listen to something that makes you sad to help you cry. I was like, that's a really good piece of advice. I will have to try that. Next time I feel the need, I'm like, I really need to cry. I'll just watch something that makes me sad. And maybe it'll help. But I'm not saying do that while you're driving. Don't make yourself cry while you're driving, because then your vision might get a little bit blurry
Yeah,
and
don't do it.
whatever,
That's
right?
true.
So, but you have this commute can be one of the greatest gifts
Hmm.
in the building of you, because you can learn. There's so much you can learn in an hour and a half drive, and it's twice a day. So you can learn a lot. And all of a sudden, you'll have insights that you didn't even realize, and it's just coming into your head. And so that'd be my recommendation. Another thing you can do also is spend time in silence. And I would recommend that as well. We don't always have to have a voice talking in our ear. We don't always have to have some kind of something entertaining us. We don't always have to be learning something. To me, I was like, I gotta have something going on all the time. I gotta make the best of this time. I gotta maximize my time. And so I gotta be doing something to build myself, right? And that was kind of like my philosophy. But then I'm starting to learn, it's like, wait a second, I need to actually have time in silence so I can learn what my own voice sounds like. I can remember the things that make me come alive, like we were talking about in our last topic, like trying to remember what makes you come alive and listen for your own voice. And what you're going to find is that time in silence, you can be forged into somebody very powerful through silence. And I'm not saying powerful in the way of I'm going to have power over people and I'm going to be the guy in charge and da 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 da. Nope. I'm talking about that inner strength where your resilience is forged and where you can learn yourself and learn your relationship with the world. And you can learn your own voice and develop security, internal security. Now, if your internal voice is mostly beating yourself up, put on an audiobook. So pay attention too. If you're spending time in silence and most of it is just you beating yourself up, I've gone through phases like that. Those are great times for somebody else's voice.
I don't mind that. That's kind of funny.
You know?
That's great.
But once you get to the point where it's like, okay, when you're not beating yourself up with your thoughts and you can listen to yourself and you can have an understanding with yourself rather than beating yourself up, that's when true growth can take place. And so I'm I'm glad for you that you have this time. And you have a choice on whether or not you look at it as a bad thing or a good thing. And even though, yes, it's going to cost you a little bit more in gas for the time being when you're doing this commute, that time and money spent, you will look back on it and be like, oh my gosh, I learned so much. I learned so much about business. I learned so much about personal development. I learned so much about philosophy, psychology, all these things from just listening when I had the chance to. And that commute is a great chance to do that. So yeah, I'd encourage you to shift the focus into, okay, rather than this is a bad thing that is going to really suck. Turn it into, oh, this is a good thing. This is a good thing that I can do. And then that focus, that shift in focus is gonna make it feel better anyway. So that's what I have at least to start with. I'm gonna turn it over to Ryan because I wanna make sure he has adequate time to tell his story. I know some of Ryan's story about, the time how he maximized his time while he was on the road. And honestly, the static P would probably not have been the static P we all know
That's true.
without that driving
Yeah.
time. And yeah. So Ryan,
Yeah.
have at it, buddy.
Yeah. Thank you. And that was great, Joe. I mimic all of those things. I agree completely. Um, there have been so many times where I've said, just in my head, maybe even out loud at times, that that time I had with long commutes was such a blessing. I almost wish I still had them because they're like an hour or more of forced silence put into my schedule against my will. And that is such a blessing because in that time, you can do so much. Um, yeah. And it's like, it's amazing. So here, I mean, there's a lot of things. There was a time in my life, and I actually did this even outside of the driving thing. I did it on my own time. I put it into my schedule for a time. I haven't done it in a long time now, but I used to pray for 2 hours a day. Now, I'm not saying that to gloat. Half of that time, 1 hour, was listening to, like Joe was saying, listening to people teaching on the subject, listening to people reading or people, who are theologians or professors talk about different things. And then after that, after I finished with that, I'd spend an hour in silence, and I would do my best to pray during that time. Obviously, the mind will always wander, but you can give that up to God, and you can give those thoughts up to God, and include God in those wanderings. Even when you stray away, and then you can go, "Oh, sorry about that." I guess it's like I gave that to you, and you didn't need that, but there you go. We were in prayer still, so we're still in prayer, right? And your mind wanders, and you're like, you know what? Maybe it's supposed to wander. And I've heard a lot of people who are great prayers, saints, who have said, if your mind wanders, let it go there and bring it to God, and,
Yeah.
and talk about it with God, and let your mind do that because God cares about you and all the things that you think. So go for it. Now, that's slightly different than entertaining a wicked thought. Whatever. That's a whole different thing. But regardless, um, yeah. So I would say that was beautiful. That was a beautiful thing that I never in my life would regret, and I will always look on with um, joy and gladness and thankfulness that I had those commutes in my life or those long driving times that gave me the chance to pursue prayer like that I otherwise wouldn't have because I wouldn't have had the audacity or just the um, forced lot of time of silence in my life where I'm just like, okay, I can do nothing here, so might as well make the best of it, you know. So there's that, which is very valuable. Um, let's say that's not really your thing. You don't really care to do something like that, and that's totally fine. Everything Joe said is really great too. Um, and even the silence that Joe was talking about, and on Wednesday was also referring to. It's really good to have that silence, even if you're not someone who wants to engage in prayer.
Mhm.
It allows your mind to kind of sort things out and also learn, like Joe said, learn more about that person that you are being, and to run through scenarios with logic and go like, okay, what kind of person am I? What kind of person do I want to be? And lets you think things through, and also sometimes just lets you know like it's okay for nothing to happen. Like life is good even in the silence. Nothing has to happen. It's still good. And I think there's a certain amount of peace and strength that fortuitousness or that resilience Joe was talking about that happens in the silence. Um, Everything's okay. You know, you don't need all that buzz. It's good. And so when you pursue that, if you take time to pursue that silence, it's different than, it's like when you are making the choice, you feel in control of that silence, and that feels really good. And you can use it. It's different than when you don't want it to be silent. Because you kind of pick,
Yes.
you know? You kind of pick.
Yes, that's a huge difference.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you get to pick, you get to decide, like, okay, I do want to pursue silence, like during this particular drive, and I'm gonna spend an hour in silence, and I'm gonna choose that. And that's awesome. Like, it's really great. So, yeah, and I'm sure many people here can resound to that aspect. Um, but yeah, and I mean, this applies even when I'm like, if I go to the doctor's office and or something, and I'm just waiting, you know, there are times where I'm like, it's silent. I could pull up my phone and dilly dally or something, but no, I'm gonna pursue silence. I'm gonna choose that, and it makes the wait feel like I'm doing something good for myself and for the world, even though it's like I was gonna be there anyways, you know? So it's good. It's really good. And then now Joe was talking about like you wouldn't know the static P that you know today if it wasn't for those commutes, and that's absolutely true. So
Mm.
when I was going to college, I had a 40-minute drive, so not quite an hour and a half, quite an hour. It was like 40 minutes, 45 minutes. And it was then where I decided that I wanted to pursue music. And I realized that if I was going to pursue producing music, I would need a singer. And so I might as well be that singer, because it's a lot easier to, it's not so easy to find a singer, nor much less pay them when I don't have any money to pay them with, you know, and just like on a promise say, hey, you know, sing with me and we'll be a thing. You know, I'll
Yeah.
just do it. I'll just do it all. I'll be it all, learn it all, do it all. And so in the car ride, I spent a lot of time teaching myself how to sing. And I had a good ear, you know, I had some music um, training, so I had that going for me. But in terms of intentionally singing to be a professional singer, I started when I was 19, which is a bit late compared to most people, and I taught myself how to sing, how to sing well to the best of my ability. And I did all right, you know, I did all right. I wasn't an amazing singer, but I did all right. I did well enough that um, I was able to sing and do some things, right? And then a couple of years after that, I ended up with a job where I was driving around all day. Um, and then it was then where I really spent a lot of time on my voice. There were many days where I would sit in my car. Now, obviously, you can't do this because you don't have this much time, but I would attempt to sing for 6 hours. And during that time, I would lose my voice.
Mm.
And then I would sing with a lost voice. And the reason I would do that, and I wouldn't make that recommendation, I don't think most vocal teachers would suggest this, but this is what I had to do. I did not have a high range. I had a very I could go middle and kind of low, but I couldn't go very high. And so I found out that when I lost my voice, for some reason I was capable of going high. It was just really out of tune. It was really bad. So I would sing for 6 hours straight so that I intentionally could lose my voice, so that I could sing with a lost voice. Because when I had lost my voice, I found my voice of singing high. And then I pursued that, and I did that until I trained that like vocal range to be able to sing on key. I trained it so that when I'd lose my voice, I could actually sing on key, and it was really interesting to do that because it was like starting over. was like starting singing over from scratch, where it's like I'm trying to hit this note, but I'm so far off. What on earth is going on? And it's really wavy. I can't get it to stand still, and all of these kinds of issues. But I did that a number of times, and eventually I got to a point where I didn't have to lose my voice to sing high anymore. Unfortunately, it's been too many years now since I've stopped singing, and now I can no longer go high again. So one of these days I'm going to have to start practicing again and probably have to do that again. So
We need to get you a job with a long commute.
yeah, I have to give me a job for a long commute or just throw me in a chamber by, by myself, padded room, make the best of it. Um,
Yeah, we'll put you in a cardboard box.
yeah, yeah, that's where I started. Sometimes I have to go back to the beginning, I guess.
Yep,
Um,
that's right.
but anyways, so, but when I was singing,
Try it on a long plane ride.
yeah, wow, no one will mind at all. Yeah, that's great. Oh my gosh, yeah, we got plenty of those. Oh, that's so funny. That's great. So I I spent a lot of time in practicing singing. And one of the and one like there was a long period of time where I was just doing arpeggios with my voice, I don't know what that is, but it was just like vocal skips. Um, and also like just learning how to do different vocal effects and like doing it enough that I could do it on trigger. So like, getting scratchy voice or different kinds of raspiness or um, you know, squeaking on purpose and things like that. All the natures and nuances that a voice can do, and learning to do them to the best of my ability on purpose. Um, and that was a lot of fun. That was a lot of fun. It's something I look forward to. And one of the things I did every time for a while was I would, before I went on my way, I would stop at a grocery store and pick up a new drink I hadn't tried and see how well my voice did with it. See if it helped me or hurt me, and then read the ingredients list. And through that, find out what kind of ingredients are actually helpful for my throat in singing and which ingredients are not, and which ones harm it. And so that was a really fun adventure that I went on for a while. That one was like I did that for like probably a year.
Mm.
So maybe half a year. So it's between a half a year and a year. It was a long time. So, anyways, my point is, I look forward to long commutes because they were time of adventure, time of exploration. Whether I was exploring myself, exploring my capabilities, or even exploring, different what's the word, teachings and so on, that I didn't know about yet. Maybe, like Joe was saying, listen to audiobooks and things. It was a time I look forward to, and it's a time I'm thankful for, and it's a time that, in some ways, I miss. So, not that I want you to have something to miss, but to some degree, I hope you do end up missing them because it means that you're truly thankful for them and truly used them wisely. Because these are times where you can have tremendous growth. Because this one to 1.5 hour ride there and back every day is a time you can commit to just growth. And that will mean a lot. That will mean a lot. And it can be fun. It can be adventure. It can be interesting. It can be exciting. It can be those things. I wouldn't dread it one moment. I wouldn't dread it one moment. Not at all. I think that there was a lot of my career that was built off of these commutes, and even sometimes I'm just like, oh my gosh, like hours and hours and hours and hours of my commutes were thinking of lyrics,
Mm.
just trying to think of the next word, just trying to think of the right melody. I would put my songs, so like not even like produced or anything, just like a raw form of like it's just a drum line, maybe a bass and some chords, and I just like put that on like a thumb drive, take it in my car and play it on repeat and just loop it and be like, okay, what's the melody for this? You know, what should I do? How should I build this? All right, what kind of theme is this? What, and I just built, and then when I got home, I put it together best I could. And then, or if I didn't have time, once I got home, I'd just, sometimes I would just pick up my phone and I would sing into it, and I'd be like, the melody for this, I'd have it going on in the background, I'd have it playing in my car and then I'd just take my phone and press the record button on my phone, and I would just sing the little part that I came up with, as like whether it be the melody or a harmony or whatever, and just, or a couple of lyrics that I was not even necessarily sure of, but there was a lot of that. So it's not necessarily that you're like trying to chase after a different career than the one you're already on, but this time can be so useful and not a chore at all. It can be something that you really look forward to. And so if you go with the mindset of not being stuck, but this is a forced gateway into an adventure of whatever you want to make it, you have the time, and you can make it a huge part of what you become. Um, this can be a real joy. This can be something that you wish you had forever, to some degree. As at some point you're going to be kind of sick and tired of it, but you'll always look back at it and go, man, I should really kind of just like take a half an hour out of my day and say no to everything and just sit there in silence because wow. Or like find an hour in my life where I can just cut out and pretend I'm driving, because there's so much that comes out of that time that, yeah, you're gonna miss it. Honestly, if you can do what we're talking about, you're gonna miss this. So, um, that's what I've got, and yeah, it can be tremendous. Like, you just submitted this topic, probably not thinking this much of it, but seriously, this topic is so awesome because it is literally, for both Joe and I, has been tremendously and deeply life changing in a good
Mm-hmm.
way. And so
Mm-hmm.
I am impart that on you, and I hope and I bless and I pray for that you will experience the same blessings, that can come from this sort of ordeal, this forced silence, this forced time of listening, this forced time of self growth. Or it's not forced; it's forced that you have anything to do for those hours, but you get to decide what you do with it, and you can make it such a blessing to yourself. So I would encourage not just attempting to entertain yourself, because if you try to do that, you will get bored out of your mind, and you will not
Sure.
be thankful for it. You
Yes.
will not enjoy it. You won't walk away from it going, yeah, it's like that was a good use of time. I would say don't just try to entertain yourself. It is good to entertain yourself. I'm not saying completely stay away from it, but you'll find it's very entertaining when you're engaged with learning. It's very entertaining when you're engaged with developing your vocal skills or whatever skills it is you're trying to obtain during this time. It's very engaging when you're using your mind to create something so that when you get back home, you can spend a couple of minutes on something that is thoughtful and brilliant and well thought out, and it's really engaging when you're doing something that's building your life for the future, and you don't have to zone out for that. So don't zone out. Give it your honest attention during that time. Yeah, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah, that's what I got. Joe, you got anything you want to add to that?
Yeah, actually, one
Awesome.
little thing, because I was just thinking about this as we were talking about it, you know, and it was just this whole notion that, okay, so where did we get the idea that a long commute is a bad thing?
Mm,
And to me, I look at it, it's like, oh, well, that's basically kind of like popular opinion. You would talk to if I would talk to
sure.
my parents, my coworkers, my relatives, my friends, da, 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 da. Oh, you got this long commute. Oh my gosh, you gotta drive so
Mm,
far, and oh, blah, 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 blah. And it's this big old gobbledygook mess. And I'm just like, you
beautiful
know
face
what? That just
expressions.
tells me That tells me that popular opinion is stupid.
Very impatient.
Like seriously, like the stuff we hear from the general culture world around us.
Hmm.
What is it? It's like it creates our attitudes, it creates our points of view, it creates all these things for us, and and we just accept it. And I
Hmm.
don't mean to get on a soapbox here, but it's like seriously, like why?
Yeah.
Why? You know? Like, and I don't remember who said it. It was probably an ancient philosopher guy, but there is nothing good or bad but our thinking that makes it so. Now, th- I I will say that with some exceptions. There are evil things in the world that will hurt you. Yes. However, for the most part, when you look at something like this, like, oh, people say money is a bad thing and having lots of money is a bad thing. And it's like, no, actually, money is neutral. Greed is a bad thing, right? People say a long commute's a bad thing. Well, you're going to spend all this money in gas and it's going to take all this time out of your day. And it's like, well, that's just because you might be looking at it wrong and you're thinking about it in the negative when it can be made into a positive. And I hope that through our talking about this, that you will feel a lot more hopeful about your long commute, like Ryan said, because it really did. Like Ryan said, it built us into who we are in a lot of ways.
Mhm.
Having that time behind the wheel was so huge. And so it can be huge for you too. And it can be good. And so when you hear a general opinion about anything, whether it's the long commute or the political, whatever's going on in the world or the whatever, and you hear somebody's point of view, it's like, maybe don't just swallow that. Maybe think about it a little bit, consider it, look at it from a few different angles, see if there's a good in there. If this is a thing that's just a neutral thing, it can be made into something good or bad by the way you perceive it. And so take this and look at it with that hope. Look at it with that, you know, good outlook. And just doing that, honestly, you'll change your life in so many ways. Just, not swallowing what the world tells you. And you don't have to swallow what we tell you. In fact, I would encourage you don't. I would encourage you don't just listen to what we say and do it and say that's good. I mean, we are pretty smart.
Hmm.
And Ryan's really good looking. So
Oh.
like you can
Yeah, that's right. You should
So you
always
should
listen.
listen.
Yeah, if someone's good looking, obviously you should listen to them. The
Yeah.
logic, I mean, the logic's there. You just haven't understood it yet.
That's
Because,
right. That's right. I mean, why do we listen to Hollywood actors and
yeah,
actresses talk about their political points of view all
yeah.
the time? Because they're good looking,
No, because we
right?
have to,
Like,
because they won't shut up about it. No.
oh yeah, actually you're right.
We don't actually listen to it. Okay, anyway, sorry.
But yeah, like when you hear
I'm kidding.
something, check it out.
Hmm.
I was talking to somebody the other day and they're like, like they were looking for some kind of verification about something. And they're like, yeah, like people get so mad at me because I'm like, show me where you're getting this information. And people get mad. And I'm like, well, they don't have a good source. This is just somebody's idea. And now they're feeling secure about saying it because you called them on it. So of course you're going to make people uncomfortable. That's not a bad thing
Mm.
to verify.
People
the
should
information you're
we
getting.
should all should be ready to go, like, and willing at any point in time to just be like, you know what, I don't know why I thought that. I must have heard that somewhere and I just bought it, you know. And then
Mm-hmm.
that's just
Mm-hmm.
what I think. There's like no emotional attachment to that thought or point of view or even foundational like way of perception. I should just be able to like, oh yeah, no, I'd rather think something that's right or true or just even better or healthier. You know, it's like just
Yeah.
be willing to just,
Yeah.
you know, and it's hard, but it's hard for all of us. But
Sure.
but I think at times
Sure.
when we're really honest, we're just like, where did that even, like, I actually don't even know where that came from, you know?
Where did I get that idea from? Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Why was
But
I
it's
so,
amazing how
yeah.
much other people steer our thinking,
Mm, yeah, sure.
you know? And so just talking about this kind of reawoke me into this thought of why do we just accept these things? Why don't we think for ourselves a little bit? Why don't we like dig in a little bit more and, stuff like that? And I don't know. It's just, yeah. So it's really, yeah, I'm glad we had this conversation. I'm glad we had this discussion because it's like there are times when I just accept what people say without checking it out. And I need to do more of just of like when instead of just adopting a belief
Mm,
that this commute is a bad thing
right.
or whatever it is, right? It doesn't have to be about a commute, it could be about anything. Rather than just adopting what other people are saying about it, is there a different way I can look at this? And it changes a lot of things for you. It's cool. So
Yeah. Yeah.
that's all I had to say.
Yeah, that's right. I mean, perception is everything, and I learned that at a young age, and I still believe it's true today. You know,
Hmm.
reality is reality, and perception changes how you feel about everything, and will make choices on everything, and it will decide your life for you. So perception, and I like what you said about, you know, whatever they're saying was about something's neither good nor bad. But I think
Uh-huh.
maybe from my lens, I would say, if it isn't evil, it's not bad,
Mm.
right? And so,
Yeah, generally it's neutral at best
yeah, and so you
or
make of it what
neutral
you
at
will.
worst in that case, right?
Yeah, right. Hmm.
And so it can be made good or bad
Right.
depending on your perception.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Yeah, that's
And you're
right.
right, Twashu. Twashu, you're so right. There's no shame in saying, I don't know, I read it online somewhere, I think.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you know that if you read it online, it's absolutely true, right?
Mhm. Or if it was in the book of Joe.
In the book of Joe, the bastion of all truth.
Wow. Dang. Bastion is such an awesome word. I don't know why. I just think it's great.
It's because Bastion is a cool character in Overwatch. That's why.
Well, he was probably also the most annoying character in Overwatch, but also pretty cool.
Yeah.
There were
Yeah.
some I had more problems with, like, what's you know, big guy, not Junkrat, but he comes from Australia. He's big and
Oh,
and he's annoying.
Roadhog.
Roadhog. Yeah, yeah, he's definitely the worst character of all time. Yeah, yeah, I know, Bastion
I'm
hate.
telling
Yeah,
dude, but there's nothing quite as satisfying as being Bastion and just melting a whole team.
I think, yeah, that's, I
Like that
understand
is
that.
so
Yeah,
satisfying.
yeah, yeah.
It's a good feeling.
Oh, I'm sure it's incredibly good feeling. Yeah, you're probably like, dang, yeah, that's awesome. I did it. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah,
The other
absolutely.
team's like frustrated as all
Yeah.
get out, but
Oh,
like
yeah, I'm
you're
sure.
happy.
Yeah, of course.
Life Weaver for the win, August
Wow.
says. Really? I don't think I've ever met a Life Weaver main until now.
Well, I think there you go. Now you've met.
Right, Twashu. Everything online is true.
Yeah. What do you mean? Yeah.
Yep. Especially on every blog that disagree with each other.
Oh, yeah. If people are like complaining about balances and they're both like controversial, like not controversial, contradicting each other, and it says like, no, yours is imbalanced. No, no, yours is imbalanced. The honest truth is they're both imbalanced.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's right.
Yes, August healers.
Yeah.
Let's go, buddy.
Resident healer. Yeah. It's great.
The healers are always the unsung heroes
Mm.
and the overexpressed cause of the loss.
Yeah. If you're a healer, get ready to be blamed for everything that happens, except
Yep.
for victory.
Yep. Except for the win.
Yeah.
Let's go, healers. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. Healer mains rock, man. I'll tell you what. You got to have some thick skin
Mhm.
because it's exactly what Ryan said.
Yeah.
You get blamed for everything except for the win.
Yeah. Blamed for everything
When
except
God,
victory.
that tank up there, man, he'd have been dead 70 times if you weren't like pumping him full of juice.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
That's right, Wix. Abraham Lincoln said, always trust the internet. That's
Yeah.
exactly.
Man. Was that was the internet that was it the internet who said that Abraham said that? Because if it was, then that's definitely true.
It definitely has to be.
All right, guys. Thank you so much for this amazing, lovely, beautiful Don't Worry Wednesday, and thanks for joining us, everybody. Tasha, you joined. We have a topic for you, I think. Yeah, we do, but
We
hopefully,
do.
hopefully we can do it next time.
It's really it needs to be
Oh, yeah,
it's the one that got cut off. Like Twashu
yeah.
got cut off by our website. Our
So
website
do you have
was
the
like
actual topic?
totally was like, nope.
Yeah, that's right. Right, I remember that. I remember you telling me about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
we'll get around to it.
But we'd be
And
happy to talk about it.
yeah, we also have another one here from somebody who was posted 6 days ago called Long Distance Relationship. Yeah.
That's gonna be a
So
fun one.
that'll be a fun one. Stay
I'm gonna
tuned
love
for next
that.
Don't Worry Wednesday. If you guys have any topics you want us to talk about, anything going on in your life that's concerning or worrying, feel free to put in our go to don'tworrywednesday.com and submit a topic, or you can message us on Discord. Honestly, we'll get it, or you can put it in our chat next time. We are live, but until then,
Yep.
yeah.
Yeah, come back next week when my face will turn really red and my blood pressure will go crazy. That'll be
Ooh,
great.
yeah.
We're
Exciting,
gonna do a
guys.
relationship topic.
Awesome. It's gonna be a good time, guys.
Send those relationship topics. You get to see Angry Joe. It'll be
Wow.
fun.
Amazing. I love it. Thanks for being entertainment for us all, Joe.
You're welcome.
Broke. Oh
You're
yeah.
welcome. It's my pleasure.
All right. Well, thank you guys. We hope you have a wonderful rest of your week and weekend. And we also hope to see you next Don't Worry Wednesday. You guys have been amazing and a great joy to be around. We love you all. And we'll see you next time. Bye bye.
Bye, guys. We're gonna